Hello, Creative Scrapbooker magazine readers. Justin Adkins here. I'm so excited. I've got this really cute spring card that I've created, and I'm going to show you how I made it step by step. Today we're going to start making this spring card by coloring up a couple of these ladybug images by the Pink and Main set Ladybug Garden. As you can see, I have listed out all of the Copic marker colors that I will be using to color up these cuties, but let's go through step by step and get these situated. What I'm going to start with is I do want to start with my grays, and I'm going to start by coloring up the grays in the heads and the spots for each of these critters. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to start with some T6, which is our toner gray number 6, and we're just going to color all of them up at once. Just like that. Okay, next marker we're gonna move into, we're gonna go into our T4, which is our toner gray number 4. So let's go back to our T6 for just a moment. Color up the spots on this cutie. Go back with that T4. Last color we're going to go ahead and use is T2. All right, let's go in, let's color these cuties up once again. I like to color twice to get a very nice saturation with my markers. I'm going to repeat my color process. Now let's go in and color up with some red. So what we're going to do is we're going to do just kind of around the head. And this is R29. Next color is R24. Awesome. Next color is going to be R22. And finish off with some R21. Let's go in and color these up once again. Get a good saturation going. Not going to worry too much about those little antenna bits. All right, now all we have left to do is to work on their eyes. C2, just to get a little under, a little shadow by the eyes. As you can see also on my color chart, I had T0 as one of the grays. We did not end up using that color. You could if you wanted to make your cuties a little bit lighter, which is always going to give you a really nice definition of those shadows and highlights. I did not. So we did C2, that was C00, and now I'm just going to use my zero colorless blender. Just because their eyes, I like to make sure they're maintaining some of the whiteness from the paper. Right. Now what I do want to do as well is I did have a little bit of a blemish that I wanted to show you guys how I fix. So I do have a SAKURA white gel pen, and I just like to use that to kind of touch up. Perfect. All right, now see, you got it. We've got our little cute ladybugs all ready to go. We're gonna go ahead and we are going to use our coordinating die cuts to get them all cut out. All right, gone ahead and we've got all 3 of our little ladybugs all ready to go. Now let's go ahead and start prepping our background. We are going to take a piece of the Pink and Main. It is their Salon cardstock. It's a nice light pink color, and we are going to use their Dress Shop their Dress Shop Premium Dye ink to blend it up. And I do have one of the Pink and Main ergonomic blenders. So I'm gonna go ahead, pick some of this up, dab off a little excess, and just start blending that edge. Next, so the reason for my overhang is because I am going to be using the Sunburst cover die, and I wanted to make sure that it cut the card out perfectly. So I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna take some more of that pixie tape. Let's see, let's get everything all lined up. And then we're gonna die cut this panel. As you can see, it has a really nice ombre effect to it. It's light in the center, retaining that salon color, but the outsides gets that dress shop in. And the reason I did that before I die cut is I thought it might be a little delicate if I ink blended now, so I did it beforehand. And I can save all of these little bits and bobs for later as well. All right, so I'll go ahead and I'm gonna set that off to the side. And the next thing I'm going to do is I have a pack of the All Occasions Florals by Pink & Main, their pattern paper set. And it's got all of these fantastic sort of patterns that are all got flower and floral themes to it, but also some fun stripe and dot patterns that you can also use to coordinate with all these colors as well. I want to go ahead and use this color or this pattern right here of these wildflowers. So let me go ahead and grab that. And then what I'm going to go ahead and do is I am going to use the Stitched Rectangles Set 1 by Pink & Main. And I'm going to use the largest die to cut this out. So what we're going to go ahead and do is we've got both of these panels, and I'm going to use some liquid adhesive to go ahead and put this into place. A little trick that I like to do is I have an extra large acrylic block that I like to use in situations like this to apply some even pressure. Awesome. Now we've got this really nice background. What I'd like to go ahead and do next is I've grabbed this Pink & Main Spring Saying stamp set, and I'm going to use the sentiment Sunny Spring Greetings and heat emboss it onto a piece of dress shop cardstock so we can have a really fun sentiment in the center of our project. Now I am going to use the Magic Anti-Static tool, and we're gonna go ahead and use that. That's wonderful because we're going to be doing some heat embossing, and it's going to make sure that I'm not going to have any sort of little remnants of powder. I've got the Pink & Main Embossing and Watermark ink pad. So let's go ahead. I've also got the Pink & Main embossing powder and frosting, which is just their standard white. So I'm gonna go ahead, wipe off that powder. And then what we're gonna go ahead and do is I do have the Stitch Circle dies by Pink & Main, and we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna die cut out this sentiment. I'm gonna be using actually 2 dies, and I'll show you why in a second, but we're gonna be using, this is the 4th smallest to die cut out our sentiment. All right. Now we have our Sunny Spring Greetings. So I'm gonna go ahead, let's set that off to the side. I'm gonna grab my vellum, grab one little piece of pixie tape, and that's slightly larger than our sentiment. We're going to adhere those pieces together. And now we've got this really nice little sentiment unit that is going to fit really nicely on our card. So I've got my final panel, and we've also got our little ladybugs with our little sentiment. So let's go ahead and start putting these together. So we've got our 3 little ladybugs. And now let's put some foam tape on the back of this. And then let's go ahead and get this nice and centered. So now what I would also like to do is I have some of the Blessings sparkle dots that I want to use. And we're gonna use these 3 right here. The green, the blue, and like the reddish violet. All right, and then what we've got to finish this off with is I do have an A2 sized card base. Let's go ahead and add adhesive to it. Awesome. we've got this really cute ladybug themed spring card that uses the Ladybug Garden stamp set by Pink and Main. It uses their spring sentiment set by Pink and Main as well, or spring sayings, I apologize, along with a lot of other fun die cuts and pattern paper and embellishments to really make this card pop. So thank you so much for joining me for this card tutorial. I hope that you enjoyed it. And if you've got any questions, always feel free to reach out to me on Instagram at JustinOteByJustin. Thank you so very much. Have a great day.